was my neighbor next door. That was it. So that kind of says everybody had a fake tree or they had no tree other than my neighbor. So it was just weird. I thought I'd see more trees by the side of the road.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of them.
He had it the day after Christmas. But he had it up after Thanksgiving, too. Like right after Thanksgiving. So he was probably tired of it by the day after Thanksgiving. So
it was probably tired of him, too.
Yes. So are you set, Steve? All right, so I'm going to officially start our Apple Cider January 10th, 2024 meeting. It's 7:20. Sorry for being so late. But anyways, I guess we're going to switch back to Steve for his news, Q&A, whichever he wants to start with. But I hope everybody had a good Christmas. And I want to thank again all the members who came out to our Sticky Lips Barbecue Cider Board meeting. We had a great deal of fun and the food was great. So hopefully that we will be there next year. Unless we change our minds again. Who knows?
Yeah, that was good though. Yeah, I liked it.
That was fun. So, all right, Steve. Okay.
Kill someone. Kill someone.
Okay, what else? Let's see. I'm trying to think. Well, you know, with the eclipse coming in April, Rochester is really promoting itself this year. And there's, in case anybody doesn't know, but the RPO is doing a eclipse concert with the ballet and acrobatics as part of their contribution to the eclipse. And of course, I'm sure you'll be able to buy glasses anywhere. I know our rec center has them for $2 for anybody who wants to buy them. And so I'm sure as time goes on, we'll find a few more things will be advertised.
It's only 3 months away, too. It's coming up quick.
Yep. I did see with Genesee Country Museum is doing some things. However, they want to charge you an arm and a leg in order to participate in them. So you can get admission, but it also, you have to buy like $100 for a viewing party and dinner and all sorts of elaborate things that they're doing. And they're out in the woods. Yeah, but it's in the middle of the day and they're out in the woods. So really, anywhere in Rochester, all you have to do is look up. And there it is. Over.
Yeah, I was wondering if anybody was including rain dates for this thing.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing I worry about. Yeah.
Well, most of New York, it looks like, is getting it, which is good. And then going through other parts of the country, but not the South, isn't going to get it unless I think it might be Texas or Louisiana, somewhere in there. Might be able to see parts of it. It's sort of going diagonally across the country. So.
I think Greece is where the center of the thing's going to be for us.
Yep. So there'll be lots of things going on. Are you set, Steve, or no?
Wow.
Pretty fast. Imagine the space station would be able to have an interesting view.
Yeah.
No, that wouldn't work.
Well, We'll just have to wait. Go ahead. Well, they happen quite a bit, but depends on where you live, whether you can participate in anything. So this one will be around for what, another 15 years? You say 40, 20, 44 or something like that? That's what I just said. All right, well, Steve, go ahead if you're ready.
Steve, do you have any audio feed into YouTube? Yeah, audience volume is good. Very good.
There we go. Unclick that mute button. Now it'll work. And now I gotta wait 10 seconds. Yeah, I usually mute the second mic so that I don't get duplicated. Okay. All right. What was I gonna do here? So first.
All right.
All right. Now I'm.
No.
Now my mic is into YouTube now.
Yeah, and Steve, if you can push your YouTube volume up safely, please do.
All right.
I'm getting you now, but not as loud an audience.
Alrighty. We can turn them both up a little bit. I don't want to get too far into the red. Alright, so probably the biggest news from Apple this week is they announced the availability of the Vision Pro, starting pre-orders next Friday, and will be available on February 2nd, just in time for Groundhog Day. There were a couple of I gotta find that article again. I thought I had it. A couple of new things that came out with the announcement. There we go. Yeah. So the headset initial configuration will be 16 gigs of RAM and 256 storage, but will likely have options beyond that, up to 512 or 1 terabyte. So that $34.99 is probably going to be the 256 gig entry-level mode, just like their laptops are. Still amazing and frustrating for a lot of people that 256 is the base drive, because it's just so tiny. Let's see. It also comes with a where'd it go? You get 2 bands, headbands, to see if which one fits you right, and it also comes with the external battery pack. This is a different article than I read before, so I'm trying to find out exactly where the thing was. So they're rather than marketing it as even virtual reality or augmented reality. Oh, did somebody just fall off their desk? Rather than marketing it as virtual reality or augmented reality, they're calling it spatial computing. And so one of the things you'll be able to do from the start is use the Vision Pro as basically a monitor for your other devices. And so you can have basically a large window floating in front of you of your other computing screens. Let's see there we go. That's one of them. So the other things you do get in the box, so you get the external battery. So there was a lot of worry about how long the battery would last by itself. So you have an external battery that clips on that gives you up to 2 hours, I think it was. You get a cover to protect the outer screen so that it doesn't get damaged. And then you get 2 top loops, the solo knit band and the dual loop band, which kind of like the watch bands, so you can see which one fits the best and feels the best for you. And then you get 2 light seals, cushions to move around your face to help it fit comfortably on your face. And you get the polishing cloth, which is $19 extra normally. What it doesn't come with is the prescription glass inserts. So those are available for $99 a pair for it says simple prescriptions, or $150 for more complex prescriptions. So if you do wear glasses, you may have to get either leave your glasses on, depending on how comfortable that is, or you may have to get the additional lenses from for them from Zeiss. Let's see. So that was one of the things that a lot of the hands-on reviewers saw when they went to Apple for the first hands-on, is that they all got fitted and measured, and the inserts were put in before they put the headphone on. Headset. It's not a headset, it's the Vision. So and that was one of the, so the rumors are kind of heating up. This is the Vision Pro at $3,500. It's likely that there'll be a Vision coming out, maybe at $1,000, with not as many features. And so this is just the first of the products. Kind of the do everything you can. Don't pay too much about the cost. So we'll make the best thing we can and do that, and then later on we can come into other models that might be less expensive. Let's see, was this? No, this isn't the article either. It's always annoying when you read something neat and then you can't find it again. Even if you bookmark it, then you get so many bookmarks you can't keep up with them. So here's an article on how the Zeiss lenses fit in. No pictures, of course. So was anyone planning on getting a set? Yeah, Marty?
Yeah, I have been squirreling away money since they first announced it. So taking $100 here, $100 there, and my plan is to order a set. And there were some changes in when the news came out. I mean, the rumors for a long time were that the Zeiss lenses are going to cost you $700, and the $100 ones are for readers. And I use contacts and then readers. So I'll be getting the reader inserts. And then the other piece about the models that they sent out to reviewers had 1 terabyte storage in it. So the fact that they're selling a 256 probably is not the entry point that you want to do to get it. So I'm still, I mean, I've got the money set aside, have, enough of the money to set aside for whatever I want to do with it. But yeah, I figured I'd get in early and see what the technology is like. For me, it's real exciting. So we'll see what happens.
I'm kind of interested to see what happens on like eBay. How many people are going to buy them and then start marking them up drastically?
Yeah, could happen. Sure.
Yeah, I guess it all depends on what it's being used for, and they don't really know yet, as part of it. That is 256 enough? If you're just going to use it as a monitor for your other computer or to watch movies streamed from the internet or your other computer, then you don't need much local storage. But if you're going to start recording 3D movies to play back again, that's going
Yeah.
to start needing more and more storage.
Yeah, I think the first thing I'll try and find out as to whether or not and they're not talking about this. Are there going to be supplemental battery packs that you can purchase? There's no information on that. And then secondly, if it's yes, what are they going to cost?
Yeah.
Because
The
I think the 2 hours is a limit. I mean, I'm doing a flight out to Portland in about a month, and not that I don't know. Sometimes I think I'd use it on the plane. Sometimes I wouldn't, just to pilot, to try it. But if it only gives me 2.5 hours, or if there's some external plug that you could put in to like run it outside of the battery is the other question I have.
Yeah.
But we'll find out when it happens.
It's likely Apple will have the external battery as a separate accessory, so you can buy several of them.
Yeah.
And that battery has to get charged somehow. I'm half expecting to see a USB-C or maybe even a MagSafe 3 connector. So if you
Mhm.
can plug it into the wall to charge the battery, it may be able to pass that power through and run the headset for more than the 2 hours that the battery will last.
Yeah.
So we're at the onset of an entirely new product category. So the last kind of similar issue would have been the iPad itself, because there were smartphones, there were smartwatches, there were some Windows tablets that never really caught on in the early days, but the iPad kind of revolutionized and created a whole new market in touch tablets. So now we'll see what happens with the Vision. One of the things that's neat, let's see if can I mimic it here. So this scene of the guy putting on the glasses, and then the camera looks through the glasses to become virtual, spatial computing. That's right out of Ready Player One. That's like one for one the scene of Wade putting the goggles on for the first time, as he's explaining what the Oasis is. So
Have you seen the ad for it that came out, I think, last night or the night before?
No, I haven't.
I don't know if you can play it or not. But it's a Devo tune, and it's just really, I think, interesting ad, the way it's put together. It's right there, the third one in Mac Rumors.
I don't know if the audio will play into.
Get ready!
Actually, I don't want to play this at all. The last time we played an Apple ad, Apple got our YouTube stream shut down.
Oh, sorry.
They got the video blocked because we played an Apple ad.
Yeah.
I wonder if was it the video or the audio? So that's cute. So a little bit of animated Iron Man.
It's basically different clips from movies where people are putting on masks
Getting
or
ready.
putting on.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, get
Yep.
ready.
Yep.
Yeah.
I did see the new iPhone 15 commercial with the block of titanium falling from space, going by Saturn and all the other planets to land on Earth to get titanium to make the new phone. That was an interesting commercial. Although the titanium is in the Earth's crust already, it doesn't have to come from an asteroid. Although it may be from the late bombardment period 4 billion years ago. All the heavy elements were formed when a sun went nova and scattered them through the universe.
I think if you wear this Apple Vision Pro for 2.5 hours, you're going to be at the point where you can't wait to get the thing off your head.
A lot of that is, I think, common when you first start to wear glasses. You can't stand wearing them for a long time, and then suddenly you realize they're not there. And then how often do you look on, where did I put my glasses? Oh, it's on top of my head. I didn't even notice they were there. So
No, but
Yeah,
these
I'm
things
looking-
are quite a
I'm-
bit heavier.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Do you
looking
know how
forward
much they
to.
weigh yet?
I don't know, but I'm looking forward to throwing up quite a bit.
Well, when you do get them, you'll have to give us a report on how it all worked out.
Yeah, the question is, when will I get them? I'll be up at 8 o'clock, trying to get in.
Didn't it say, it said 5 p.m. Eastern, right? Or no, I'm sorry.
No,
5 p.m. Pacific.
5 a.m. Pacific.
A.M. or P.M.?
AM.
Oh, that's annoying.
Well, so
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
5
California used to keep us up till 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
For getting devices. So it's their time to wake up early.
Yeah. That was probably, they were trying to decide how early can we do it and still get other time zones. So that's probably early evening in Europe. 12 hours ahead in Germany.
It's only a domestic release.
That's true, yeah.
And they, unless they have a credit card and an address in the U.S. Because I've been following this on Reddit. There's a thread now on Reddit that's talking quite a bit about it. And some guy from Spain says, I want to get one. He said he was going to fly over here for the release. And, but then other people talked about, well, you better have a domestic or, a credit card that'll work here that they'll accept. So, yeah.
And there probably will have one or two available at Apple stores, maybe literally one or two. Although you can with other Apple devices now, you can order online for pickup in the store, so they might do that for the Vision Pro. This article is comparing it with the Meta Quest, but it said it had the weight on it, but I don't see it anywhere. One of the tricks that I read in the earlier days is, so a lot of people will have the website open to keep track of refreshing the website to be able to buy it. One of the other things you can do is open the Apple Store app on your phone, and sometimes the app will let you buy something sooner, especially when it's expected to sell out, in minutes, probably.
The app will let you do a pre-order setup.
Right.
So I've been going into the app to try and get everything set up, purchased, approved. So when I go in at 8:01 in the morning, just press the button and it's done.
Yeah, complete order.
Yeah.
Well, good luck.
yeah,
Yeah, we'll see. I'll get it as soon as I can get it.
One thing that has happened is there's more pictures coming out. The announcements are showing more pictures of what it looks like, and the other over-the-top headset. So you don't need to wear the top strap if you don't want to, if it's comfortable enough for you with just the rear strap. So that looks, but you can add the top strap if you want. right, that's kind of neat. Yeah, and here's the article where Apple can start selling the watch again. So that was actually December 27th. I've been so busy with Christmas and everything going on after that, I forgot to check to see if that import banned. So it was what 3 days it was banned? Was it the 24th it started? Something like that.
So it's not banned anymore.
Right. So there's a temporary injunction banning the ban.
All right. So they're not quite sure yet what's going to happen, but for the moment, it's still good.
It's probably going to end up with Apple writing a giant check to Massimo. Or, yeah, here's the countersued. Or Apple removing the blood oxygen sensor hardware in the next version. So one of the big confusing things we keep reading on different sites is it the hardware in the watch, or is it the software for monitoring it? You know, what exactly is the points in the lawsuit? Because if it's software, that's, well, relatively easy to change. But if it's hardware, that's going to be a lot harder.
Well, you'd
Massive-
have to look at the patents, and those are
Yeah.
available publicly, and you probably determine it from that.
Yeah, Massimo's contention is it's the hardware, and they can tweak the software all they want, but it's the hardware in the watch that the lawsuit is about.
So for people who already have a watch, what happens? I mean, you've already got it.
Basically nothing. It will still be able to be serviced.
Okay, and then new things, it'll just go from that point onward.
Right, and they may end up changing the blood oxygen sensor, or, you know, worst case, they would have to remove it. So if they don't want to pay a giant chunk of money to Massimo, they may have to remove it. Or they'll come up with a different one that they think is different enough, and then there'll be another lawsuit.
Well,
Yeah. All right, let's what was the other thing they had on here? Was something I wanted to show. Here we go, newsroom. So Tamagotchis are back. If you're still somebody on one of the podcasts I listened to that said they were searching for something and found their Tamagotchi and revived it and started playing a little more with it. Let's see. Yeah, so this was kind of interesting. Apple is expanding their self-service process. So self-service repair lets individual people repair their own Apple devices. But we and me as an official Apple certified Macintosh repair technician, it can be quite a daunting process. Excuse me. Especially to remove the moisture seals and then reapply the moisture seals on a device when you put it back together again. So it's not really for the faint of heart to be able to do that. So Apple has expanded that line to offer a couple of more products. So it's still the most recent ones. They're not going back to do the older ones. But it is available there. And then, you know, Shirley, here you go. Apple redesigned the Apple TV app, and Shirley, you said you don't like the new design. I haven't played with it yet, but everything is different, so it's different is bad.
well, no, it's just that I'll get used to it. It's just everything was in one way, and now all of a sudden it's a different way.
Yep.
As long as you can still access everything you want, then it doesn't matter. You'll just, get used to it. But
One thing that is nice is they've updated the multi-user ability, so you can switch between users. and each user can have their own playlists and their own favorite shows, and it can remember where you left off for each user separately.
Isn't that what they have now?
But they've been expanded it to make it easier to switch users.
Okay.
The one thing, do they have a picture of it here? One thing we tried this week was setting up FaceTime video calling on the TV with center stage and continuity camera. So you set your phone in front of the TV to be the camera for FaceTime on your TV. So then you can do video chatting on the giant TV screen.
Do you really want to do that though?
Occasionally, it depends. And you got a new well, at our age, you got the new grandbaby that you want to do. Remember a couple years ago during the pandemic, we did the video hog mini party with Ewan, where they had a big Zoom video for the New Year's Eve party. But when it's on your television, most TVs don't have a camera built into them. So it's neat to have that camera option with your phone. Let's see. Oh, and then this one was neat. So with the iPhone 15 Pro, you can now capture spatial video to be played back on the Apple Vision Pro. So the Apple Vision lets you record spatial video with its multiple cameras, but now the iPhone 15 using 2 of the cameras will let you do that. What that kind of brings up as a potential is the 2 lenses are a little too close together for a standard interocular distance, so the space between your eyes. So it's possible that a future phone may have the cameras farther apart to give a better a spatial video or 3D video, being able to shoot in 3D and then watching the 3D video on the Vision Pro and whatever subsequent Vision non-Pros are coming. And what's kind of neat about it is even if you're shooting it in 3D, you can still watch it in 2D and pass it around to all your other devices in 2D as normal. So here he goes. You can, yep, do a 3D video of your kids. So in another decade, 3D video might be common. As common as shooting regular video is now. What else was interesting? Yeah, has anyone been playing with the Journal app? iOS 17.2 came out with the Journal app. There's already a lot of journaling apps available in the App Store, but it's interesting that Apple decided to put their time and effort into making one of their own.
Is that a substitute for a blog?
Not really, because this is just you're keeping a journal for yourself, like more like a diary. But since it's Apple, you've got it mixed text and graphics and audio and video, and you can do all sorts of. Let me see. Nope, that's not a Live Plus. To record your own personal daily activities.
It's for kids. Adults don't have that kind of time anymore.
Well, because your phone is with you all the time, and
Yeah.
it can auto generate journal entries based on your location, when pictures were taken, phone calls you took. So a call from your mom came in, so it can record you talk to mom. That's kind of neat. So it's like Perry Mason earlier. Do you remember the night of April 13th of last year? No, I don't. horrible thing to try to go back and testify.
Well, that's what they're trying to rectify. That there you have it.
Yep.
There's a record. It's going to incriminate you.
You have a diary of everywhere you've been.
I prefer to do that by taking pictures.
Yeah.
I still like paper.
Yeah, paper too. I do that. But then we're old. We like those things.
Oh, I didn't want to translate. So, Google does an interesting thing in its mapping service. Here we go. Location history in maps. So you can see everywhere you've been on your timeline if you have a Google app installed on your device. So for that account, I don't have it turned on. And I haven't seen that Apple does this. That Apple is more geared toward hiding your history and not tracking you like this. But it's kind of interesting. Every now and then I get a warning from Google that my location history is on, and do I want to keep it on? I don't remember what account I had it on. It's probably my work account. But it's kind of neat to see all the trips you made, wherever you went that year. Basically, anytime you use the mapping program, it remembers. And in their location history option in Google, you can tell it if you want to turn on or turn off your location history.
So am I understanding correctly that that would work if you had an iPhone with Google Maps installed on it and we're using Google Maps?
Yes, or an Android phone with Google Maps.
But it would work on an iPhone. And would you have to have Maps open for that to work, or just have that feature activated?
Just have the feature activated, and then you have to give Maps permission to access your location, which you generally would because you want Maps to be able to give you directions. So it has to know
Right.
where you are.
Right.
Is it the CIDER account that I had? No, that's off. I want to be careful about switching accounts here because I don't want to mess up the stream. I did it. Maybe I turned it off after I was just playing with it for a while. Let's see. Web and activity. YouTube history. Personal ads. Yeah, I guess I don't have timeline turned on for that account either.
Well, if you just take photographs, that'll kind of keep track of where you've been.
Yeah. Well, and so in the Photos app, it will give you the push-pin map of where all the photos were taken. What's interesting with Google Timeline is it shows you your chronologic trips. So we did this a couple years ago when in one of our Florida trips, I played back the trip and then brought up the photos we had taken at each place along the trip. But back when there was a panic over tracking, most people turned it off. I might have turned it off then when I realized I was done being tracked, even though I'm tracking myself. Alrighty, anybody else have any newsy type things? Going through Apple's newsroom here.
There's a little tidbit on TV today about a phone fell 10,000 feet,
Oh yeah.
survived.
So that airplane where the door fell off,
Yeah, I believe so.
a phone got apparently sucked out, 16,000 feet. And one of the stories I read had a physicist weigh in on it. And yeah, the Alaska Airlines Boeing, where the window and the door came off. Maybe I can find the physicist article. But basically, they calculated terminal velocity of the phone is about 100 miles an hour. And the lucky thing is it didn't land on a road. It actually went through some trees first and then hit relatively soft ground, not hard concrete. It hit the ground. And let me see. So that
And
allowed it to
remarkably,
be better.
remarkably, Siri started working.
Testament to an iPhone.
Yeah. There have been people that have thrown their phones or send them up in a balloon. So here's 4 years ago, someone put their phone up 100,000 feet and let it fall, but they did that on purpose. So the last article I had read, they were trying to get more details about what case it had on it, because that can make a big difference too.
Well, then there would be that case. Whoever owned it could say the same thing for advertising. Fell from 15,000 feet, still working.
Like Timex.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, like the Timex.
Maybe it was here.
Takes a beating and keeps on. Told you that I deliberately did that. My mother gave me a watch once, and I banged it against the washing machine to see if that worked, and broke it.
Oh no.
My mother was mad, and I said, "But the commercial said it would still take a beating and keep on working, right? I wanted to test it out."
So the person found it on the side of the road in the grass under the trees. So just 10 feet over, and it would hit the pavement and died. But the screen still showed the baggage claim for the airplane, for the air flight. So that's how they knew where the phone was from, and they took the phone back to the NTSB. So
Wow.
so if you ever lose your phone, you gotta there's when you put it, you can put it into lost mode in the Find My app, and either give a phone number or email address to get it back if someone finds it.
Yeah, somebody was saying they were complaining about it. It was unlocked. And, the conversation was the guy was on a plane. He didn't think to lock his phone as the door of the plane got sucked out.
He was probably using it, so it was already unlocked.
Yeah, it still had the lightning cable in the bottom.
And how about the guy?
Everybody's okay.
Yeah. But imagine sitting there talking, all of a sudden, woof!
Yeah.
Probably happened so quick before you even have an idea what happened.
He had to pay $70 to get the extra bags on the plane.
If it had a cable hanging out of it, that would have reduced the terminal velocity.
Yeah. And they don't know if it was tumbling on the way down, or if it had basically leveled out and wasn't tumbling. Yeah.
Too bad it didn't have a camera going at the same time.
Well, that's the these other videos. Where's that one that we had that said 10,000 feet?
Yeah, because he could have been taking a selfie or video.
What's up, guys?
Whatever. And it could have recorded the whole tumbling sequence right there. And everybody would have known.
There we go. So here's a phone dropping 1,000 feet. Come on. Oops, let's go to the beginning. He's thinking, I don't want to let go. I don't want to let go. I don't want to let go. There it goes. So you can see that tumbling and spinning. And now they'll play the video and we'll all get sick, right? Let me jump ahead. Then they had to go find it. Found it. Yep. So yeah, so that's the funny thing. You drop your phone 2 feet to the floor and it shatters. It falls 16,000 feet out of an airplane and it's perfectly fine.
I see nothing.
For the share.
Whoops, it's gone.
All right. Any other new stuff? There's that one that had 100,000 feet. Yeah, now I can't find the old videos because this video or this story is too new. There we go, 103,000 feet.
Don't see anything.
Back, all right. I wonder why it stopped.
You were, I don't know.
Maybe because I started switching Google accounts.
It's starting screen share now.
So you didn't see the video of the phone actually dropping?
Nope.
Nope.
All right, here's my history. Where's the YouTube video seems to be missing.
You made it disappear.
Well, yeah, why is it not in my history?
Didn't want you to see it again.
Yeah. Were we on? Yeah, we were on YouTube. Yeah, there it was. So they found it after the fall, and then they played the video from the phone itself. Here it goes. So you're seeing it now?
Yeah.
All right. Yep. Make you dizzy and sick as it's falling down. But it landed camera up. It was pretty cool. Okay. Any other news, or should we get into some Q&A? Charlie, you had a question about your SD card?
Yeah, I need to shrink. Hang on here. Yeah, okay, my mic is on. This is not an SD card; it's an SSD.
Oh.
And this is part of my ongoing attempt to store GoPro videos. But anyway, I got the SSD, and when I went to use it, I was of two minds. One was maybe I'll just plug it in and see if it just works all by itself without any further preparation. And the other was, before all else fails, try to read some instructions. it comes with a small printed insert in what for an old person like me might as well be microfiche. And I looked at that, and it's sort of the usual FCC stuff, and there's some warranty and so on. Now, so the brand is SanDisk, and in that printed insert, it says if you want to do, like, for example, a firmware update, which I was interested in because I had no idea how long this device had been in the back room at Best Buy before I bought it. Go to sandisk.com/support. And I subsequently found that apparently in 2016, Western Digital bought SanDisk, so that when I just put in sandisk.com or sandisk.com/support, it went nowhere. But if you Google SanDisk or SanDisk support, then it takes you to a Western Digital site that includes information about SanDisk stuff. Also, in the course of Googling around, I found I thought I would look for a user manual online. And what I would like to do, if I may, is share my screen as I poke around here a little bit. Can you do that for me?
Yep. A lot of times you'll find a PDF manual on the disk itself.
Well, okay, that's interesting. As I go along, I'll tell you why I don't know yet whether that is there.
All right,
Now,
you should have presenter status, and you'll get that
Okay.
fourth icon in the bottom center.
Right, and I'm getting a box that says Google Chrome would like to record this computer screen and audio. Open system settings. Choose what to share with Mastermind Lounge. It's going slowly here. All right, Zoom is toggled on. I will toggle on Google Chrome. And now it wants me to do the administrator thing. Oh, you crapper. Apparently I muffed the password. Hang on. Google Chrome may not be able to record the contents of your screen until it is quit. Do I need to worry about recording, or is that simply going to apply to my ability to show it at all?
It should only be recording.
There is a button that says quit and reopen. Should I do that?
Not yet. Let's see if you can share the screen first.
All right, then I'm going to have to, I'll say later on that one to clear it out. Okay, and I'm going to close the settings thing.
My cables are all caught up.
I now down at the bottom, choose what to share with sessionmastermindlounge.com. My problem is that there are two choices at the bottom. One is cancel, and that is lit up. And the other is share, and that is grayed out.
You have to choose what you want to share first.
Right.
A Chrome tab or your entire screen. There should be 3 tabs at the top to pick which to share.
Gotcha. Should I just pick entire screen? Because I'm going to be going to different tabs.
Different tabs in the same window or different windows?
It may be different windows.
All right, then, yeah, whole screen.
All right, entire screen. Yep, and it says to share audio, share a tab instead, and that's sort of grayed out. This site will be able to see the contents of your screen. That's nice. But there's still, share at the bottom is still grayed out. Only cancel is lit up.
Have you picked the window you want to share?
I'm choosing to share entire screen. Does it then matter which window?
No, entire screen should be one of the selections. I don't remember what the screen looks like, and I can't bring it up because you haven't.
Right, right. Well, crap.
Maybe let me check my. Maybe you do have to have screen recording on. Let me check my preferences here. So Chrome is allowed to see the camera. System and screen recording. Yeah, you may. So that may have to be turned on. You may have to quit and relaunch Chrome first.
Okay, now, should I first attempt to go back to that little box that had the choice of recording by going into settings, or should I just quit and rejoin Chrome now?
Well, you told it to allow recording, and then it said it had to restart first?
Yes.
Or did you stop it? Did you say no to recording?
I said no to recording.
All right. So you'll have to go back and say yes.
And how do I get back to that without shutting Chrome down?
Well, you'll have to shut it down for the change to make effect. But you have to go to System Settings and Privacy and Security.
System settings. All right.
Let me,
There. And privacy and security. Hang on here a minute. All right. And
then Screen and System Audio Recording.
screen recording is one choice.
Okay.
Try that.
Yep. You must be on a different system version than I am.
Yeah.
Have I upgraded to Sonoma?
And here, all right, at this point, there are two items that show. One is Google Chrome, the other is Zoom.us, and both of those are toggled on.
Okay, so it is set to be on. So then you just have to quit and relaunch Chrome so it can see that permission.
All right. Well, bear with me a minute because that's going to take me out of everything here. So I will do that.
Alrighty.
Gosh, it's fun. Quit.
Does anyone else have a question while Charlie's doing that? Or shall we take a break?
I don't know, maybe we should take a break. It's like almost 20 after 8.
We've been at it an hour already.
Wow.
Well, do you want to take like a 10-minute break, and then whatever length of time it's going to take him, then you two can monkey with it.
Sure. I need fresh soda anyway.
All right.
I don't know. Is it too blinky?
Great trees.
All right. Now, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I'll turn my camera on. I had a couple of error problems there.
Okay, Charlie, Steve's going to go get a drink. We were going to take a short little couple-minute break here while you were getting everything up to speed.
All right. Why don't you go ahead and do that? And I will interface with Steve so that I have my act together as best I can.
Okay.
When you get back.
All right. Very good.
And I'm going to take a break too. Gosh, it's fun. So, Steve, I'm not sure how far we need to go with this right now before people come back. But
Say what?
You want a candy?
Sure. Oh, or chocolates.
but I don't think I have the presenter status or whatever. Yeah, okay, now it's back.
All right. So while they're taking a break, we can get your presenter working, maybe.
Right. And so now what has come up is that I do have the window with the meeting on it. And on top of that, I have a box that was there before that says choose what to share with session, blah, blah, blah. Where in previously I had picked entire screen. Should I go ahead and try that again?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I just did that. And I'm back to where I had two buttons at the bottom. Lit up is cancel, share is grayed out.
Try clicking it anyway and see what happens.
All right, I just clicked the share button and there ain't nothing.
All right, I'm going to take presenter back
All right,
and see what I'm seeing at this end. Entire screen. And then you have to pick the screen you want to share.
well,
And then the share button is available. Okay, so that's what you're missing.
so, okay, maybe what I need to do here is outside that box with that choice, I'm going to click on the screen that shows the meeting.
Well, yes,
And-
it's asking you which screen you want to share, and you have to pick it. You have to pick it.
Okay. There I am. And now what's happened is that my cursor has gone from an arrow to giving me the finger, as it were. And the box is still the same. Maybe what I'm going to need to do then is do the cancel button and then work forward again till I get a choice that makes sense. What do you think?
Yeah.
All right.
So after,
I'm clicking the cancel button.
yeah.
Okay, up here I got a little box that says code 1136. Permission to share the screen has to be granted or something. Now I got to turn on my share screen button. And I'm getting the same box back again. Select a tab to share.
The square screen was on already.
And it's
Okay.
off again now.
So,
Share screen, yeah.
yeah. And then click on the screen you want to share, which is
Well,
probably the only one there.
The share screen thing has reverted to black. I think I should click on that first, right?
I don't know. I don't know what reverted to black is.
Well, in other words, the button is there, but it's not, it's black. It's no sharing screen. Do I still have permission to share screen?
Try it and see.
Well, I'm clicking on it. Nothing's happening. So I'll go over to entire screen. Look at that. Nada. Gosh, doesn't seem like other people have as much trouble as I'm having.
And you're on the computer, not the iPad, right?
I'm on the MacBook, right?
Okay.
In Chrome.
Oh, I hit another remote. Power off. What try sharing something else besides the entire screen. See if you can share a window, just as a test.
I click on window. It shows two windows.
And pick which one you want to share.
Well, I'm probably going to want to share the Western Digital Products one, I guess. And okay, now share has lit up. Well, before I do that, let me go back to Mastermind Lounge. And no, share is lit up. So should I start with Mastermind Lounge and then see if I can switch to the window with the Western Digital?
I would start with the Western Digital.
All right, I'll pick Western Digital. And I will add that the share button is lit up bright blue, but down at the bottom of the screen, the presenter share or whatever it is still blacked out. So I'll click on the share button.
Yeah.
And the presenter window thing at the bottom has turned blue.
And we're starting to see your screen.
Yep, now you're sharing your screen, except that I am now in the window for the meeting. So I'm going to try to go to the Western Digital window.
Yep, that's what we're seeing.
You're seeing that. Okay. Now, before I go to the bathroom, which I will have to do, I want to try one other thing here. Why not? Are you seeing a Finder window?
No, because you're only sharing that one window. So you have to stop sharing that window so you can share the entire screen. And it should be the same process. Pick that third tab, entire screen, and then pick the screen you want to share, and the share button should come available.
Yeah, I think instead of the entire screen, I picked window last time around, but so I need to stop sharing.
Yeah.
If I want to go to, all right, and then I'm going to open a Finder. The nice thing is apparently you can still hear me. That's nice.
Yeah.
I want to go here. I want to go here. I want to go here. All right. I think it's, well, I'll try all of these. Are you seeing the Finder window?
No, you have to start sharing your screen again.
All right. All right. Now I need to share screen. What I want anyway. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Good. All right. Now what I need to do is get back to, okay, now I can go back to the meeting window and hit the share screen button and try entire screen. Entire screen ain't making it. Window. There's the all right.
So
That's the beginning of it, and I don't know. This is a quick start guide that I downloaded from manua.ls or something like that. And that site spooked me a little bit because it's a free source for user guides, which of course is paid for by ads. And I was never sure whether I was clicking on manua.l on their real stuff or on an ad that was something wanted me to download something else. I can't remember at the moment. But we can start this conversation before other people come back because they're going to get bored with it anyway. Setting up your private vault is simple. Can you see that all right?
It's a little small.
Yeah, right. But that's not critical because that's the step I attempted to do.
Well,
and,
you only need to do that if you want to encrypt the data on the drive to stop someone else from seeing it if they get the drive.
Right, which I don't want to do. So what I did actually was to go through that process, but then not fill in anything and just leave it.
Yeah, you didn't need to go through the process at all. Just plug the drive in and it works.
Well, that was back to plan A.
Yep. Plug
it in and see what happens. All right. Now I am going to shut this thing. And I might as well go to these other ones. Can you see this one that says adding files or folders into your private vault?
You're still got the quick start guide window open. Did you switch to a different program?
I switched to a different file in my Finder window. And now I'm in that file, and now I need to, hang on, I'm getting the hang, I'm going to be good at this by the time we finish.
Screen sharing shut down. You can't switch windows because you're only sharing one window. If you share the entire screen, then you'll be able to switch windows.
The entire screen. Pick the screen, and then share. Screen share has started.
Yep.
You see, saying now I'm sharing my screen. Is that nice?
Yep.
All right, let's see what else I got here. Let's go up here. Let's go to, are you seeing the adding files or folders
Yep.
into your private vault thing?
Yeah.
You are. Okay, good. Because that's basically either a drag and drop or a manual add file thing from the My Vault menu bar. And the problem I'm faced with is that I have not gotten to the main screen for the SSD. So what I think I'd like to do now is actually plug in the SSD.
Mm-hmm.
And belch, and then interestingly, last night when I was done fiddling with this, I ejected the SSD but left it plugged into the MacBook, and confirmed today that it was still not showing, but it was drawing power all night. It ran down the battery somewhat in the MacBook, and the SSD was warm. Okay, now let me try to, should I two-finger click on the Extreme SSD?
No, just one finger, and that will show you the contents of the drive. So those are the things that are on the drive.
Okay.
And you can basically ignore them all because you don't need to do the encryption.
Right. Now, there is another thing that I did yesterday, and I think again today. You see up here where it says Extreme SSD?
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing created a heading over here that said Extreme SSD, but did not show anything. I'm going to screw up.
Two windows
What?
open.
Pardon me?
It may have just had two windows open. Now, do a two-finger click and choose Get Info on the Extreme SSD, and we can see what format it is.
Right.
And then Get Info. So this is an exFAT drive, which is primarily intended for Windows, but the Mac can also read it, so it's good as a transport drive to go between Mac and Windows. If you're going to only use it with the Mac, then it would probably be best to reformat it for Mac.
I'm willing to do that, but what would be nice would be to get into it in the first place.
Yep. So anything you want to copy onto that drive, you would just drag onto the Extreme SSD icon, and it would copy it.
Right. But where would I, excuse me, where would I look for the SSD icon? Down here?
In the sidebar. Close that window again.
Close this little box.
Yep. And so there's a Finder window with the Extreme SSD icon.
It is.
It would also show on your desktop if all the other windows were hiding.
It has done that, yes.
Yeah. But so you can go to any other folder and drag a file onto that Extreme SSD icon to copy it to that drive.
Well, I'm seeing this listing here of Extreme SSD.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing something that tells me that I would call an icon.
To the left of the name is the icon.
That thing.
Yeah.
So what happens if I click on that, single click?
You'll see the contents of that drive.
And that's what it has at the moment.
Yep.
Now, how would I go into the drive to reformat it for Mac? Because as sold, this drive says, it works with either Windows or Mac. But
Yeah.
based on your expertise, you're saying that if I'm going to use it with Mac only, I should reformat it.
Yeah. Go to the Go menu in the menu bar at the top of the screen, and then Utilities, and then Disk Utility, and double click, and that should open. Alright, then on the left, yep, you want to click SanDisk Extreme. You want to make sure you're getting the right disk, because it looks like you have something else plugged into your SD slot, it looks like, maybe? That's the one.
No,
That's the
no,
one below.
not at the present time. No.
Okay. Oh, that's an old disk image you had open. Yeah, so you want to click on that SanDisk Extreme icon. Yep.
No, there are two. There's this one here and this one here.
The top one's the drive, the bottom one's the volume. So you want to click on the drive because we're going to reformat the drive.
Single click?
Yep. And then in the buttons at the top, you want to hit erase. And you can give it a name. You can call it SanDisk Extreme again if you want. And then the format is defaulting to APFS for Mac.
So that's correct, right?
Yep. Then you can just hit erase.
All right. So, and I don't need to worry about this partition map down here yet.
It's supposed to be GUID.
Okay, so I'm going to hit erase.
Yep.
Here we go.
There's a little arrow next to show details if you want, but it's already done.
Just click done.
Yep. And then you can close Disk Utility. And then so now back in the Finder, you can click on the SanDisk Extreme, and now it's an empty Mac disk.
Yeah, and because of that reformatting we did, then perhaps I should not expect to see that main screen that they talk about, right?
Yeah, we erased the disk, and so it deleted the security programs that you don't need to use anyway.
And then the main screen where I would drag and drop things. So what I'm going to do here, and I'll do it later, is I'll use the two Finder Windows method and go to here, I guess. In other words, I'll plug in the SD card reader I have.
And that will show up as another icon under Locations.
It does that, correct.
Yep.
And then once I open something on that, I can drag it down to the SanDisk Extreme and see what happens, huh?
Yep. So if you wanna test that, go back up to the Go menu in the menu bar and say Desktop. And so there's all the files that are on your desktop.
Right.
So you could grab one of those and drag it to the SanDisk Extreme icon, and it will copy it to the SanDisk.
Do I only need one Finder window to do that?
Yep. Because we can see the SanDisk icon on the left already.
Right. So that's where I'm going to go, right? What do I want? Let me take this thing.
Do something small so it doesn't take forever.
Right.
And you'll get a green plus sign. Yep. And now you let go of the mouse, and it's copying. And the ding means it finished copying. So it was small enough that it didn't put up a progress bar. If it's going to take a long time to copy, you get a progress bar.
Okay, good.
So now you may want to delete that because it's a copy.
Right. Yeah, and see, now this is the thing that I did want to ask about this process. If I'm dealing with something on my Mac hard drive, and I want to move it to a different folder. I use the two-finder Windows method. In the top window, I find it. In the bottom window, I pick the location I want to move it to, and then I drag and drop it there.
Right.
And when I do, yeah?
Since it's the same disk, you're moving it from one folder on the same disk to another folder on the same disk. It actually doesn't move.
Yeah, and it will, but it will, quote, disappear from the original folder.
Right. Yep, it moves it from the original folder into the new folder. Since you dragged it to a different disk this time, it copied it to the other disk.
And leaves it intact in the original location also.
There is a way to override that. If you hold the Option key down, it reverses the function, but
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's too confusing for some people. So now,
I don't want to do that.
So that green plus button was also the indication that it was copying. When you're moving something, you don't get that green plus button.
Right.
So now this is a copy of what was on the desktop. So you may want to delete it so that it's not confusing you as being a second copy.
Right. And back to the business with moving from one folder to another on the hard drive, for example, it does not actually move the data, but it moves the way that the data is accessed, right?
Basically, yeah, the directory of where that file points to. The file itself stays where it was physically on the disk.
Okay. Steve, thank you so very much.
Sure.
I'm now going to go to the bathroom, and I guess I can stop sharing.
And you can stop sharing, yep.
TMI.
Too much information?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually,
as long as he gets up and leaves. If he doesn't leave and says he's going to the bathroom.
Right.
No, but I do want to say that although I am the club's token ignoramus, I was happy that I was able to follow Steve's instructions fairly adeptly, I think. And I didn't have to do a whole lot of what is that and where is it.
Yeah.
So you guys have helped me a lot. It's only been 15. It's only been 15 years, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
All righty.
Well,
As everyone else starts filtering back.
yeah, but that's what the club is for, right?
Yep.
Help all those people learn.
Sometimes you don't remember what people don't know. In fact, it was what's the birthday of the Macintosh? January 24th?
I don't know, is it?
On January 24th. Yeah. On January 24th, Apple will show you like 1984 won't be like 1984. So it's the 40th anniversary of the Macintosh coming up.
Wow. So did you see Wayne today?
Yep.
How'd it go?
Pretty good. He said you were their babysitter.
I guess I am. Did he have,
Yeah,
is he interested in anything? Or?
Dropped off his 2007 computer. Another lady came in with a 2013 computer and said, "Oh, it's so old." And said, "Yep, okay, 10 years. That's not bad. Got a 2007 in the back."
So is he interested in getting a new one, or did you just talk to him?
Not yet. He wants to know what's on his external disks first. But
So you're going to do that for him?
Yep.
All right. Did you clean off his other computer?
Not yet, but he brought it in to do that.
All right. He'll tell me all about it tomorrow.
So San Jose Mercury Nose in the Computer History Museum is kicking off the 40th birthday party for Macintosh.
Yeah, how's your museum going?
Yeah, it's all in the basement.
I know, you got it all over the place. You need to organize it a little more. Get the ones out of your office.
Where's, let's find the 1984 commercial.
Again, can you play it?
Yeah, I'd be afraid that Apple will get us taken down.
Well, you can put it up there and then everybody else can click on it for themselves.
So there's a still image. So what was interesting is later on, 2001, 2002, was it, somewhere along the way, they put an iPod on the lady's belt to go along with the iPod. She was apparently a Olympic hammer thrower. Anya Major. So that's one thing. That's the one thing she's known for. And she was in a video of Elton John's.
Really?
I had not realized Ridley Scott was the director.
Yeah, and apparently Jobs picked Ridley himself.
This is before he became known for anything?
Maybe before some of his big blockbusters. Yeah, on January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984. So what was some of Ridley's early work? Where's his filmography? Oops. Well, no, yeah. Alien was and Blade Runner, yeah. So he was big for Alien and Blade Runner.
Oh, so he was futuristic, so they wanted futuristic
It
looking.
was 1982, Blade
Yeah.
Runner.
Yeah.
Right, so they wanted a sci-fi kind of futuristic look, so they picked him. Right?
Legend in 84 or 85.
Ooh, I loved Legend.
Tom Cruise, Mia Sara, Tim Curry. Someone to Watch Over Me.
Yeah.
So it was a fairly well-known big movie
Oh,
director.
Thelma and Louise was big.
Yeah.
So are we going to talk about CES 2024 here?
Probably.
As soon as Charlie gets back.
Black Hawk Down.
Oh, he made that one too?
I'm here.
You're here. Okay.
Thank you for your consideration.
Yeah, we were talking about the 40th anniversary of Macintosh on January 24th. So it was played during the Super Bowl. But it was actually released in New Year's Eve in a local broadcast in Idaho, so it could be part of the Clio Awards that year.
All right. So I guess we're all set to do CES then?
Yeah.
Our main attraction?
Did anybody follow any of the stuff at CES this year?
Totally forgot about it.
No,
It's
you'll
still-
have to tell us all about it.
It's still happening, so it's happening this week. Tom Myers was our relevant CES expert. He used to go every year, and it'd always bring back the tchotchkes. Because Macworld San Francisco is typically the first or second week in January. Apple themselves rarely went to CES, which was usually the second or third week in January. In fact, it was really rough for a lot of companies to do both, being so close together. So for a long time, the Mac-only companies went to Macworld, and the cross-platform companies would do CES. Actually, that's part of the joke now too. So CES used to be the Consumer Electronics Show, which was put on by the Consumer Electronics Trade Association. They became known for CES the trade show and just renamed themselves CES. But there's a lot of Apple-related things at CES because it is consumer electronics. One of the more annoying things about CES was always that the stuff you saw at CES in January might be coming out for that Christmas 12 months later in December. But a lot of times it was more of a pie in the sky kind of thing where companies would gauge interest before they even decided to start development of it. So if you showed a lot of interest in January, they might make it for the next Christmas the next year later. But I got a kick out of this. The home purifier is HomeKit compatible, so you can monitor it in your HomeKit. A lot of new earbuds were always very common. And we're starting to see more Qi chargers now with the Qi 2 standard out. And so there more and more chargers are coming out with multiple charging bases, so you can set several things down to charge at once. A lot of different charging systems have come out. Now, Ugreen has been known for basically making cheap but pretty decent chargers and cables and cases. Now they have opened and made some new NAS drives. So network attached storage, basically a hard drive with an Ethernet port on it, so that you can often use it for backup. So you can back up laptops that don't tend to sit still long enough to plug into a hard drive. Up to 184 terabyte if you need a lot of space. And like most things at CES, there's no price. In fact, which is becoming common now, it doesn't even exist yet. It's a Kickstarter. So if you want to see it coming, then you got to go through Kickstarter to try for them to generate enough money. A lot of talk about AI stuff. Everyone wants to do AI. Let's see, what else?
Did you hear Kathy Hochul's speech the other day?
No.
She specifically mentioned AI and her intention that New York would become the #1 location for AI in the world.
Really?
$400
universities,
million.
RPI, RIT, U of R, and so on. And so that's what they're hoping for New York State.
Oh,
Empire AI.
What AI wrote her speech?
Yeah. That's kind of neat. So $400 million in public and private investment, 275 from the state. So yeah, that's where that grant money is. That sweet government grant money.
Well, she's trying to attract people to come to New York.
Yeah, the problem is the taxes are so high, people keep leaving New York.
Well, maybe they'll be.
They did a study on that. Most of the people that are leaving New York are not going to Florida. They're going to nearby states like Connecticut, Massachusetts, where the taxes are not significantly different than New York.
Yeah. Maybe the weather's a little better. Although not
I doubt it.
Not Connecticut.
Not this week.
Yeah. Well, the Raleigh-Durham era. What are they have a technology name for that whole area down there. I forget what it was called.
Is it Research Triangle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be it. Yeah, the Research Triangle, yeah. Raleigh, Durham, and then, what's the third triangle? Chapel Hill. because that's where North Carolina University is.
That's why Nina and Dave moved down there.
Yep. So, so there's a new wireless standard coming along called Matter, and the latest Apple TVs support Matter, and it allows devices to talk to each other better. And so Amazon unveiled this new device to do Matter casting, which is similar to Apple's AirPlay and Google's Chromecast. So we've already seen the Amazon Echo Show, and so now they've added Matter casting into the Echo Show, which is basically an iPad that you sit on a base and use it for weather and recipes and video chatting to relatives.
So it doesn't really matter then.
Yeah. And if you divide by 0, then you antimatter. Nanoleaf, these were cool. Had anyone played with Nanoleaf lighting panels? They have a picture of them. So they're basically digital LED lighting panels that you can arrange, and they can be different colors. You can put different patterns. They have created an outdoor set, so now you can have different colored lights permanently on your house, and then control them for different colors for each season.
So you install them once and then just push a button.
Yep. And it also uses Matter, so it can be HomeKit controlled.
It looks kind of pricey though, doesn't it?
Yeah, they can be. Let's see. $250 for 3 panels, and then $70 for each additional panel. But that's the Skylight offering with 1,400 lumens. Nanoleaf has other less expensive wall. Here, shapes was kind of cool. Some of the podcasters I listen to will have the different shapes put up. So 9 panels for $200. So it's kind of a neat idea. Digital LED panels that you can program and control. There's videos that are going to show us the mood lighting. So add an artistic, decorative thing to your home, your doghouse.
Can't you get a Google tablet for $200?
Yeah,
Maybe you should just use those as your light panels.
Put a bunch of iPads together.
Yeah.
Let's see. Now this was kind of interesting. There's a lot of work in medical sensors. We talked about the watch and the O2 sensor. So the Magic Mirror, looks at your face and can analyze your facial blood flow and more types of information. Say your BMI, blood pressure, heart rate. So the doctor who looks in your eye to look at your retina and inside your eye for certain diseases. So now you can stare at this magic mirror and it can tell you if you're going to get sick or not.
Mirror on the wall. How am I looking? Yeah, you look terrible today.
Yeah.
I just see so many people putting their faith in it, and then doctor.
Oh, and they won an innovation award from CES. Let's see, where's the price? Oh, being sold for investigatorial use only. Not available for commercial use. Oh, they're in Canada. So, also wearables on your pets. It's not enough for you to wear a watch. You can have your pet wear a wearable. Subcutaneous trackers have been common for a while, but now we're doing more on collars. Last couple of years, there've been a surge in like uh, um, pet collars with like RFID tags, so only the right pet can get into the pet door. The pet door's locked until the right
Man.
pet comes along.
That's actually
Now,
a good
I
idea.
know-
Like,
He has that for their cat.
it'll
Yeah,
keep
two
the
cats.
raccoons out.
That's right. Keep the raccoons out.
Yes, the one cat ate too much, so they had to put one for him so he could not get into the other cats.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. So able to just the regular wearable, respiratory heart rate that you have on people, put them on your pets.
I was going to say you could put it on people too. I'm sorry that you have to wear a wristband.
Yeah.
What you do is you look at the results of your pet's scan
Yeah.
while you're looking in the mirror, and in the mirror it can report to you that
Yep.
your pet is affecting your health in a negative way.
Yeah.
Like $99 with $8 a month subscription fee for tracking. I remember seeing a couple years ago somebody put like a GoPro on a cat and watched it do its daily routine outside in the
How-
wind.
Yeah, how far it went.
Yeah.
All the neighborhoods it visited, all the places it went.
Now, Charlie, did you get an actual GoPro brand camera? Oh, you're still muted. Sorry. Because Matthew got me a third-party GoPro equivalent camera to put on my airplanes and rockets, which was cool.
Yes, the one I got is the GoPro brand. Rick Harrison has also gotten a different kind of similar camera. And what I'm curious about with this business of putting one on your pet to see where they go and what they do is that at least for my camera, the battery's only good for about an hour.
Hmm.
I don't know whether Rick's runs longer than that or not, or whether you know yet.
Do you know
My
about?
health camera seems to be good for at least 2.5 hours.
Really? Good.
That's good. Do you know how big a recording card yours will take? Because I was a little disappointed in that on mine. It will only take a 64 gig card and only record 90 minutes of video, which is fine for my use, but it just seemed low.
The card I have in my GoPro currently is 256
Yeah.
gigs.
I'd have to look at my helmet and make sure that it takes right now.
Yeah, you want it to be gone all day. You need a longer battery life. Let's see. We continue going down through here. So a lot of companies introducing new monitors. So here's one that looks like an iMac. 4K 32-inch. Only a 60 hertz and 400 nits, so Apple's monitor's a little better than that. But it's half the price of Apple's monitor. I just saw a video on Linus Tech Tips where they got a 115-inch TV from China, and it's a single panel of 115 inches at 4,000 nits. It was 13 grand, which is cheap for that size of screen. It's not made for the U.S. market, so they basically had to. They joked that they had to smuggle it into the country, but during the setup process, it asked for a Chinese telephone number to register the TV. So one of the guys happened to be Chinese, and he called his dad. Said, "Dad, I need your phone number. I need you to give me this code they're going to send to you." And so Linus has tested the laser projectors, the digital cinema projectors, and he said he's going to keep this TV set up. Not only because it's at 115 inches, it's a pain in the ass to move, but it completely blew away his laser projector and how bright it was. In fact, they said it was almost too bright at maximum brightness. And because it's so big, he can have 2 or 3 rows of theater seating. Yeah, so one of the competitors to a giant TV screen is just sitting closer, so it feels like a giant TV screen, but that doesn't help, the second or third row of people. And I think at CES, I don't remember if it was this year or they announced a better one, but Samsung does have their the Samsung Wall TV, which is 146 inches, but it's multiple panels that they hang separately, and it's like $200,000, and it's $10,000 to install it. There you go, $220,000 for a 146-inch television.
Wow.
This takes me back to when the Olympics were in China, and they had that parade to start it with, and they had like this huge TV screen arrangement. I never looked at how they did that. But you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking as wide as the street and almost a block long or something.
A lot of times it's multiple panels stitched together, but the seam between the panels is small enough that you don't notice it when you're sitting a few feet away. There's all the plug holes on the back. On the back, so you can't get to them because they're on the back. So the CES has been well known for giant screen televisions. Oh, it's the biggest screen. Let's see, more Qi chargers. So here's a Star Trek medical tricorder. So you can do an ECG, a pulse oximeter, stethoscope, sensors. Oh, they don't have any other pictures of it. From BMO. I don't know if I'd want to buy something from BMO. So you wave it over yourself, you push it up. Oh, it's Withings. Withings has got a lot of internet-connected health devices. They have a scale that would tweet your weight with the theory that the peer pressure would make you lose weight, because every time you got on it, it tweeted your weight. All right, let's see. Here's more CES stuff. Robot vacuum cleaners are coming down in price significantly and adding more features. You can get a decent robot vacuum for under $200 now. The problem is it's got such a small dustbin that you got to change it quite often. Here's a home brewing machine, so you can brew your own beer.
The robots aren't self-cleaning yet.
Yeah. Oh, and heaven forbid there's like cat poop on the floor and it just pushes it all around your house. Here's the BMO in operation.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good for your house, Steve, that's for sure.
Yeah. More smart lights. Because with the Matter integration to make devices easier to talk to each other. So it's becoming common now in home theater, or even living rooms. Living room's now the home theater. It doesn't have to be the big basement room anymore, because giant TVs are relatively inexpensive. Having mood lighting, and some of the TVs and lights can even listen. The light will listen to the TV, and so when there's an explosion or something, it can flash the lights and have different mood lighting based on what the TV is showing.
That would be almost too much.
I'm going to interrupt here with a thought that has crossed my mind a few times recently. I'll be watching movies on YouTube or something like that. But wouldn't it be interesting if real life had a music soundtrack so that when you were approaching something dangerous or scary, the music would get ominous.
There have been uh, um, TV shows that have had that.
Ah.
I think Family Guy did it once. Yeah, that's not gonna find what I want it to do. Yeah, so that would be really cool. You know, ominous music comes up as you're walking along. There's a band called Real Life, so that's throwing off all my um, search results. Yeah, that's not gonna find it either. But that was kind of neat. He ran across the genie and wished for his own soundtrack. You got on the bus and the little the little trippy traveling music was playing on the bus. Um, so this is interesting. Oh, it's just showing you how much power your different devices are starting to use. Oh, and you thought Thunderbolt 4 was big on the Mac now? We'll just wait till Thunderbolt 5. So we have some devices out with Thunderbolt 5 already. Or you can have your own home IMAX 4K projector. One of the problems with projectors has always been you either have to mount them from the ceiling, or you have to sit them in the middle of where your basically your couch would be, and you got that bright beam of light if you happen to stand up and turn around. So a lot of the projectors now are super short throw, where they actually sit at the bottom of the television, and will project up onto a screen, onto where a television would be. So it projects up from a few inches away.
Well, that was where I told you Nan's daughter-in-law. So they got a projector that hangs from the ceiling, and it doesn't have a TV screen. It just projects on the wall.
Yep.
Or wherever. So you don't even need the TV itself.
Yeah, we should do that here with projectors, but it became such a hassle to set everything up because we never wanted to go as far as mounting it.
Plus, you would have to keep one wall bare
Put a screen
in order
it,
to
yeah.
have that. And then you couldn't move your furniture around because the projector is probably bolted to the ceiling, which means it has to stay there.
Yep.
So I don't know.
We had a big piece of poster board that we would set up for the projector.
Yeah, I remember that.
All right. Transparent TVs. This was weird. It's almost looks like a three-dimensional TV, where it uses the what's that magician's trick with the concave mirror that makes a 3D object look like it's sitting there? Not Pepper's Ghost, but similar.
So a question with TVs then, I've seen in a lot of places where they'll get a TV, people have a TV, and then they'll set it so that when the TV is off, there's a painting on it displayed. What is that?
That's screensaver. We have that on ours. Right.
But it stays the same. It doesn't ever change. It just stays, so it looks like you have a painting on the wall.
I've got ours set up to run through some of the favorite pictures I have on my iCloud
Right.
drive.
All right.
It
So
could be a
that's
static
just.
picture.
So then you just set it to whatever picture you want, and then it just stays on there and doesn't go off. It's on there continuously all day long.
You have it rotate among master paintings if you want.
Okay.
You should rotate it so you don't burn in your screen.
This is a different smart mirror. This one's round. The other one was rectangular. Palm recognition, so you don't even have to touch the lock or push the buttons or touch a fingerprint. You just hold your palm up to the camera and it recognizes your palm.
That won't be good for the detectives then when they want to know who's touched the door
Yep.
and touched things.
Yeah, but they might start chopping off hands to get
Well,
access.
then they
Yeah.
they track the log of the camera itself.
Let's see who's standing there.
Yeah, then you could be a Tom Cruise and be incognito, except for your palm prints.
Yeah, I think this was what Linus Tech Tip. Yeah, 115-inch QLED, up to 144 hertz, 20,000 screen dimming zones, which they didn't believe until they measured it, and they measured 20,520. And the more dimming zones you have, the better the dynamic range between bright and dark can be. And this is the one that's $13,000. Hopefully, it's coming to the U.S. market soon. The one that Linus got out of China apparently is using somebody's intellectual property illegally, but they don't care in China.
I want to butt in for just a second here to mention something that was triggered by your discussion of a static painting on your TV screen. And forgive me if I've said this before, but this past fall I accidentally discovered Google Arts, and it's available as an app on your iPad, or you can go to a website, and it's really pretty amazing because it not only has a ton of paintings and other things like that, but it has multiple different categories. One of which is fashion, for example. But when you get into fashion, it's not current, fast fashion crap. It's clothing from like 1,000 years ago or something like that. So it's neat to look at. But it also has a bunch of different art museums around the world, and you can take a virtual tour of the museums. It's really kind of neat.
So Google Art?
Google Arts, I think, ARTS.
So this is arts and culture.
Yeah, I think that might be it.
Yeah.
Yeah, choose your experience, right? Yeah, there you are.
Top 12 artworks. Yeah, they've been doing gigapixel scans of popular art.
I don't know if you're going to run into copyright stuff here, Steve, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Oh, it's not even showing it. It's blurring out. I wonder if it knows because I'm screencasting. Interesting.
The whole copyright thing is an interesting question, given that they are taking other people's artworks and putting them online.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a fun thing.
You said they had an app?
Yeah.
Let's see if we can find it. No, this is not what I wanted. Is it apps.apple.com? No. Google Arts app. How about that?
Interesting thing, though, is that I got it on my iPad, but I don't know whether I got it from the App Store or from the Google Store. That's the thing. That's it there, I think. Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
So then you can have professional pictures, not just your own pictures. All right, that. So this was interesting. Earbuds that measure your heart rate. So it looks in the blood vessels in your ears. Let's see, we saw that one already. Here's a robot window cleaner. So it uses suction to stick to the window and will run itself up and down. your window to clean your windows? There's that IMAX projector again. A lot of times when you look through the CES lists, you see a lot of the same things. The joke was always the reporters will go into CES. Here's people. They'll go into CES, look at the first couple of booths right inside the door, and then rush to write their stories, and then go to the bar in Vegas. Oh, these ones don't even show everything on their list. They just have a list. Oh, there's an interesting car from LG. So Apple showed that as one of the advanced features of their CarPlay service, where the entire dashboard is one giant screen.
Just like you're flying the shuttle
Yep.
in space.
Let's see. So Apple's a no-show at CES. Apple hasn't gone to CES in ever, I don't think. But it would have been interesting if they were there showing their Apple Vision. Probably not, because currently it takes too long to set up to do a demo, because you have to scan your head and it scans your iris. So if you have multiple people in a family joining it, again, it has different users. Yeah, that doesn't have anything much. So what we'll see over the next couple of days is the smaller things coming out. So a lot of the first couple of days of CES, you see the super big stuff, and each of the different companies. So this is IGN, which is gaming news. So they're looking at it from a gaming perspective. So there's a new super graphics card coming, new handhelds, and yeah. So Apple's Vision Pro announcement almost eclipsed a lot of the CES news. Was that car? No, we're not going to see. Yeah, so you can move the no with a controller for the cars, so either person can drive. I remember years ago at some technology pavilion we saw a car that had a joystick at the center console, so either the left-hand person or the right-hand person could drive, because the joystick was just forward, backward, left, and right. So you didn't have to duplicate your controls. The new Steam Deck OLED. Matthew's got one of those and loves it. He sold his old Steam Deck to a buddy. So now they joke that the buddy doesn't have the OLED version, so it's not as good. But it's basically it's a Linux computer with game controls on the outside of it. So he took it to the Linux desktop, and we started playing with basic computer stuff. All right. Anybody hear about anything else cool at CES? Here's the 11 best gadgets from NBC. Probably a lot of them we've seen already. Oh, here you go. Is that a robot lawnmower with a solar array?
So it started Monday?
I think so.
All right. So, and you said it goes to Friday?
Let's see. January 9 through 12. So it started yesterday and then goes through
Tomorrow.
Friday, yeah.
Well, you can always.
This week in Rochester is the big RV show. Yeah, there's the transparent television. gaming laptops, new TVs, kitchen gadget. Here you go, a smart indoor smoker. Only $1,000 to smoke your own ribs indoors using wood pellets. So where does the smoke go? Do you need a conduit out the window? And the health rings. There's the BMO again. Smartwatch. Oh, yeah. Solar Mars bot. Robot follows the sun. Multiple cameras. So it's not a lawnmower. It's just a robot that wanders around following the sun. Intriguing things. Quick share peer-to-peer content coming to Android. We call that AirDrop on the iPhone. The new Nano Leaf pictures. Whole home portable power station. 6 kilowatt hours. Run your house for a month. So how do you charge it up to begin with? Oh, stack them all together. So that's the big thing with electric cars, is you're not using gasoline and all of that greenhouse gas and whatnot, but the electricity that you charge your car up with has to come from somewhere. See, Android is doing the double tap. A battery that charges your phone in seconds, so it sounds like a supercapacitor. That sounds a little too good to be true. Within 7 seconds,
Yikes.
you get 8 to 10 hours of charge.
What could go wrong?
Yeah. All the heat that's generated when you charge your batteries now. Yeah, have an AI that talks to your gadget so you don't have to. Matter casting, yeah. So pretty much the same things that most of the articles, because it's the same show. Anybody want to run to Las Vegas for the last couple of days?
No. All right. Well, it looks like
Do we have
that's
any?
pretty much
Yeah.
it.
Do we have any other Q&A? I know
Nope.
Charlie had a good long question. We like those.
Well, it's about 9:30, so
So coming up this Saturday is our Saturday SIG. Bob, you still hosting that this week? Yep. Oh, you're muted. Give us a thumbs up if you're hosting. Okay. And then, oops, I gotta get back to my window there. And our board meeting will be next Wednesday.
I may not be here for the board meeting. We're going out of town Tuesday and coming back Wednesday. Actually, I might be. We should be back. It's at night.
Okay. Reminder that next month's meeting is going to be AAR Tax Aid with Lyle. So if you want to get your taxes in early, you can figure out how to do them with Lyle. And then in March is our elections for officers. So
Yikes.
actually, should we talk about a nominating committee now, or can we
We
wait?
probably should, yeah.
Wait another month. We'll have to form one at the board meeting next week. Anybody have
Yeah.
an urgent desire to join the board who isn't already? I think everyone here is already on the board, aren't they? Almost.
I will ask Rick at this point, are you willing to be the silent partner, so to speak, on the nominating committee?
Sure.
Thanks. I will be the noisy partner or whatever that is, and we will then pick the same people who we already have, and it'll look like an autocrat selection, something like that.
All right. Well, then if we don't have anything else to say, do we want to formally end the meeting and still talk?
I was wondering if Carol had any Apple Watch questions since she just got it.
I haven't used it enough to even have questions yet. I'm just figuring out how to use all the apps on it. Or whatever you call them.
And I've been wearing one for years, and I'm still finding things I didn't know it could do.
Well, maybe that's something for a presentation for a few people with the Apple Watch, because I got one, and I don't really know how to use much of it either, so.
And I know my phone is sitting here somewhere, but I can't
I
find it.
mostly want to use it for like working out and that kind of stuff.
It's supposed to be better at recognizing when you started a workout, because you used to have to tell it you started and tell it you finished, and a lot of times you'd remember to tell it you're finished, but you may not remember to tell it you started, and then it doesn't count, and all those exercises don't count. But
It realized I was doing an indoor walking, and it said, "Do you want to make this a workout?" And I said, "Yeah,
Yep.
yes."
I have found that by setting your ring goals very low, you can close your rings every day.
Oh.
I think that's called cheating.
Yeah.
No, it's you got to start with low expectations, and then you can increase them.
There was what show was it? Oh, I think it was Pawn Stars, where they decided to have like a step contest with their step trackers. So of course, Dad is doing it legitimately and puts his step tracker on. One of the guys puts the tracker on the dog, so it counts his step. And then the third guy, they don't show what he does, but at the end of the day, they're counting their steps, and Dad got like 5,000 steps in, and the kid that put it on the dog had 20,000 steps, and then the other kid comes in, he's got 100,000 steps in a day because he went to the hardware store and had them put it on a paint shaker.
The paint shaker. I was thinking paint shaker. Are the watches the same? Because I know that Fitbit, if you are doing something like I was shoveling snow, and just the motion of moving your arms will count as a step sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. I've had
Yes,
a
it
couple
does.
of weird things where it says I've climbed so many stairs today, and I don't. So I go down the stairs when I leave the house, and I come up the stairs when I go to bed. But all through the day, I'm never on stairs. So I'm wondering how it's
You must be
on stairs.
moving your legs in such a way it thinks it's on a stair.
Maybe sitting down and standing up so much is when it is giving me the stair option.
So you can fake it out if you want to.
That should be your standing goal, is recognize when you stand. Maybe sitting and standing fast counts as stairs.
Well, there you are.
I think on my old Fitbit, when I took a plane one time, it told me that I had climbed several thousand staircases.
And it would sometimes think if when you got into a car after you'd been running or walking, you get into a car and drive away, it starts giving you some credit for the distance that you're going in the car.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Until it realizes, oh, wait a minute, a person can't be walking that fast.
You walked 20 miles today.
All right. Well, let's officially end this. 9:34.
Okay.
And like I said, you can still talk if you want, and see everybody, most of you, next month, or next week rather, at the board meeting.
Alrighty.
We'll see what our weather will be like outside that day. Will we have snow, wind, rain? Who knows? It can be anything. All three in one day.
Okay,
All
well,
right.
Good night.
thanks, everybody.
Good
Have a
night.
good evening.
Good night,
Good night.
everyone.
Good night.
Good night.